from there? Itakuwa
I
ngumu.
think I can if I go to YouTube. YouTube should give me the link also.
Kamera imeenda.
Imeenda something.
Your camera is camera is off.
Yeah, I think it's nice because ngoja kidogo tu. Ni vile niko I'm on the phone. I'm the same device for everything. These phones are very powerful. So Tuko live.
Episode what? 76. Yeah, approaching the.
I think that. Can I be full screen? Let's go on. StreamYard, I don't know why they have not have a full app to do all these things.
So you have to use the web version.
You have to use the web version, which is not the best.
When you're on phone.
The best tool. When you're on the phone, it's not well attuned to the form factor of the phone and all that. But we learn. I'm coming at last Saturday we couldn't make it. I woke up, had to go for a walk. A very good friend of ours, a fellow Rotarian, sadly passed on in a motorcycle accident. So we did a walk in sort of a memorial and sort of in remembrance and in honor of him. Then I had a series of other things to do in the evening. Then getting ready in the morning to travel. Yeah, so now I'm actually in Johannesburg.
Oh, South Africa, SA.
Niko SA, I'm kwa kina MacDuke and Miss Ngeo.
You bumped into any of them?
Yeah, I met Ngeo.
Oh, that's nice.
I met Ngeo. When was it? When did she meet? Was it on Wednesday or Thursday? One of those days. I'll check my messages.
Very nice lady.
Yes, so I met Ngeo. MacDuke is out of town, but hopefully we'll catch up next week. So, yeah, if I meet him, I might meet Ngeo again. If we meet again, I realized after meeting hatukuchukua picha.
Hata mi paka mtu anikumbushange.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a.
Let me take some water.
Okay, so.
So I'm in the land of Mr. Mandela. Yeah, it's pretty nice. The weather is nice. Today I just woke up, did a hike in a place called Cradle Moon. I'll share some of those pictures. Cradle Moon. So a bit of the sightseeing. Ndio nikasema I think let's connect a bit early. Ndio if I have to do something else, I do need to work on something so I can get the time to do that before. I know some friends might start asking, hey, let's let's go have a drink somewhere and this kind of thing. So yeah.
But there was the time in SA.
It's the same as Rwanda. We are just an hour behind. So it's 4:20 now.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh. Sharif Mustafa, karibu sana. Our friend Andrew Mutua is beaming straight from South Africa. I thought kama ungekuwa na preparation time ya kutosha ungeingia na amapiano beat.
Actually, that's true. Actually, downstairs, nimeenda downstairs and sort of the pool area. And I actually want to engage the hotel to understand, is it a birthday? Is it something they do every weekend? So there's a section where there's a DJ, like the DJ booth. There's a swimming pool. Kuna mafreshi huko, the beauties of South Africa. And they're just playing some nice music. I'll go down after this.
Amapiano ilikuwa?
Amapiano, of course. You know, one thing that's interesting about SA, of course, they consume a lot of their own music.
Yeah.
A lot of their own music. I was at a concert last night. And this artist, now for one, she was singing all through with a vernacular language.
But you see, South African music, hata waimbe kikwao, it sounds, the beat is fantastic, the vibe is top of the line, just flow. Just flow, ainanga shida. And then, man, their women are highly energetic. I say ladies.
When they're with that when they're doing the dance.
Yeah, alafu amecharge kidogo some bit of chemical assistance. My friend.
It's all natural. It's all natural.
You need, utabidi uende kando ulambe 2 leaks of glucose. Utatoka hapo umevunja magoti.
Yeah.
So very nice. So very nice, considering the history of that country, where they've come from. Hey man, these guys are fantastic.
They do have a vibe about them, eh? They are very musical kind of people. Yeah, you can almost see people break into a dance almost anywhere. You see how they
say in South Africa, there's always an opportunity to drink. There's always a reason. There's always a reason to drink.
That's true. That's true. That's very true.
It's a bit, I don't know if it's fortunate or not unfortunate. I'm not a teetotaler. I'm a teetotaler. I don't washa, but still, yani kule, a bash. I think South Africa is like an advanced version of is it Roysambu? Roysambu kuna mwanga na mabash kila mara.
Oh, okay.
So it's like an advanced version of Roysambu, because I'm told Roysambu just party after party.
Party after party.
So hey, SA guys, man, those guys know how to throw one down.
Yeah.
They can fire a party from nowhere. And then the country is pretty much advanced compared to us. So
yeah, it is.
Everything just, and then, man, industrialization. I don't think there's any Toyota there. Is VWs, Golfs,
BMWs.
Ziko mingi kweli?
Yeah, they're Toyotas. But yes, there's a lot of German vehicles.
Yes, the only Toyotas that I know are there are the taxis. So the Toyotas, they call them taxis. Huku ni matatu.
Yes.
Driven by crazy people. But
no, they are Toyotas, but there are also Toyotas that are not. There are some, of course, like you can see, like I saw a version of a RAV4, but one that I've not seen. But also, for one, they drive newer cars here.
Newer cars, yeah.
So it could be a brand that is not either yet to be released in our market. I was actually, during our walk, the guy who took me for the walk was telling me it's a law in South Africa that any car sold should be a car that has been assembled locally.
Then they
Any
must be
car
having
sold.
very good financing options.
Yes. So you see, that's the other good thing. Yeah. So they have paired the manufacturing with a good financing infrastructure. So all you need is, if you have a fairly good constant income source, you're employed somewhere. I understand you can go to sort of any dealership. They would look at your credit record. They would look at your income. If you've got a constant stream, you can drive off there with a brand new car. So they'll probably send you information, and suddenly send it to several banks. So it doesn't even need to be your own bank. So let's say you bank with KCB. You go to a Toyota dealership, a Mercedes dealership, pick out the car that you want. It's X amount, probably what, 3, 4, 5 million. And they determine. I don't know if there's always a down payment. The guy was telling me sometimes, not always. You could almost start off with what they call the car note, which is the monthly installments. So if they look at your income stream, how much you can be able to spare as the installments, you can easily get off there. So you get those offers from several banks. Of course, you pick maybe the one with lower interest rates. So your bank is KCB, and apparently you got a good rate with NCBA. NCBA becomes the financing bank for that vehicle. You start off, maybe if there's any down payment, you pay the down payment. But I would imagine it's not much, because the heavy lifting is the loan you get from the bank. So it will be the bank that will pay the dealer, and then for you just be paying the bank back that monthly installment. Maybe that's what even Mustafa Sharif wanafanya huko US. So people here drive a lot of newer cars. I saw another car. I don't know if you have seen it. It's called a Cherry. I think I saw once a Cherry.
Yeah,
it must
Cherry
be,
Tiggo. Cherry Tiggo.
Cherry Tiggo.
It looks
Is
like
it a Chinese?
Yeah, it looks like it looks like an old school RAV4, isn't it? Yeah, they are used by Kenya police.
Oh, Kenya police have them.
It's called Cherry Tiggo.
So yeah, they're fairly popular here. They've become, I mean, not that much popular. They still have those traditional brands, a BMW, a Mercedes, a Volkswagen. There are a lot of these European brands. There's a Renault. You see a few Renaults. The guy who was actually taking me for the hike was on a Volvo. So all these kind of things, which is interesting, yeah. And
Volvo personal cars. Volvo personal cars was bought by Geely, a Chinese company.
They bought it. I think it used to be under Ford.
Yeah, they bought it, but for the personal cars only.
Okay.
Trucks and buses NB, but it was still under Volvo. But the small cars were acquired by Geely.
The Geely with a G, yeah.
Geely.
Yeah, I think I've seen it. Yeah.
See what the Chinese are doing? They are doing some form of corporate scorched earth policy, because the Chinese factories are given a lot of incentives by the government. So they produce so many cars that some are zingine hata huwa zinatupwa. The aim is to ensure that as many countries as possible have some Chinese car somewhere. They are pushing an ideological war. So sometimes you have to be careful with some of these people you compete with based on how your country operates. These are people who are ready to sell you cars at very low price. Mradi too, there's a Chinese brand running in your country. So they may sell you very
It's
cheap
all
cars.
part of influence. You know, if you think of American dominance, how it grew, some of it is through some of their brands, having to push some of their brands in countries. So it's not so much even the commercial value they'll get out of it, a profit or something, but there's a diplomatic value attached to that.
Yes.
Probably as a way of soft power and the like. But I was quite interested to hear of that, and maybe I'll research to confirm what this gentleman was saying. That because I was asking him about that cherry, and he told me now that you're seeing them being popular here, the manufacturer must have set up a farm or a plant for them to be produced locally. So, because he said you cannot sell, no imports can be on South African roads. So if you want to sell your car in South Africa, you have to set up the plant to assemble it. Probably all you'll be able to import in parts. So, and what does that mean? That means you're going to hire people to do that. It's more beneficial. Even the car pricing I noticed here might be probably a little more favorable than our side, probably in terms of taxation, because it seems like they want to encourage people to own cars. Yes.
It has to be favorable because if a vehicle is assembled there, the government will be wise to tone down on the taxes because it's going to be employ people who will be taxed. As opposed to an import, the only person you are paying, the only person involved is after clearing and forwarding is only sales.
Exactly. But if it's the guy, it's what do you call them? The car yards. And the clearings and forwarding, the insurance and all those people in imports.
But ukija kwa an assembly line, those are an entire team of workers, quality control, assembly, testing, paint shops, whatnot, spare part manufacturing. It's an entire ecosystem. So you'd rather just tone down on importing the components because when it has employed 500 people, those are already 500 tax input streams. So it makes sense to tone down the taxes. So it makes now sense to now if you are putting out of taxation on imports, a full car, because once you've taxed it on an import, you're not getting any more money from it. Sisha inaingia na inauza, in fact zingine they are direct imports, mtu import over the internet. Inaingia, it drives it away. There's nothing you're gaining, but some people are involved in putting it together. There are testers, kuna painters, whatnot.
And just imagine, it will also generate the garages that will come out of that. As you say, that entire ecosystem.
Yeah, people who have worked there for, say, 10 years will leave and go start their own workshops. And each business is a tax generator. Each employee is a tax generator. So it's an entire it's a very beautiful ecosystem that comes with the vehicle assembly. So it's just policy in every direction.
Can you imagine that little policy they wrote? What has been its impact? And can you imagine if our government was to apply that right now? Maybe give it maybe 5 to so years to begin implementing it, because we know probably setting up assembly shops is not a one-day event. There's the training, there's setting up, bringing in the machinery. But slowly by slowly, probably maybe a 10-year period to begin transitioning to that.
If you operate yes, with the mentality of Chinese, you do it in 5. The same Chinese who built a hospital in 24 hours using preformed. 5 days.
And what I noticed, why you need to have that kind of a financing infrastructure, it makes sense, because if you don't have it, then the manufacturers will not be churning out any product, because it becomes too expensive to buy the product. I mean, the sort of the process or the time lead to accumulate the money to buy the unit takes longer. So for it to be a continuous process of producing and selling, you then have to figure out that financial element that you have to tie it in. The financing element.
A very simple way of doing things. You are selling brand new vehicles from the factory. Now, a brand new vehicle, its main competition is an import, a second-hand import. Sure. Now, the brand new vehicle is available on loan. Then you have a word with your manufacturers about tax incentives. So, look, if somebody has been paying steadily for this car for 3 years, you can enable him to do a valuation of the vehicle, give him a newer model at a cheaper price, then ile ambayo ni mzee tengeneza iuzwe as a second hand.
Exactly.
Now the second hand inauzwa at a certain taxation level. So you are fighting the guys who are bringing vehicles. And the second hand vehicle is also available on financing. So bank inakula from the new one, then inakula from the
second hand one. And there's a constant, it's selling money. It's selling money.
Because you get a, let's say, Mercedes C180 from DTW be available on a financing model. 3 years down the line, there's a very nice and advanced C180 comes into the market. You bring in your car, you are a very good driver, they check it, wanaangalia value yake, pay a small amount of money, they swap with the advanced C180. The one that you have traded in is checked, expected in Ocean, is available for sale at a second-hand price. And even to make it even better, since hii ni gari iliuzwa initially, sell it at cost. Sell it at cost. It's like a local gray import. It's a local because you made money from it initially. Sindio? You are making the money you are paying for the upgrade. That one is the one that you charge your profits on.
Yes.
You put or you can split the profit between the larger chunk of the profit should go to the new one because it's new. A small what do you call it? A small profit on the second-hand one. Now, what happens is this: we have second-hand car owners who have very good vehicles, and those spare parts are available locally. Because the C180 this guy has bought is a local second-hand assembled locally. It's in pristine condition. He can go back to the shop and service it.
Yes.
So PNA, it's also available on loan. So the financing industry becomes ever vibrant. That
and
means
you see, that's,
under some what you call some networks, if it is well planned, we know that we are now in the third year of a certain batch of car owners. We are expecting a fresh batch of new vehicles and a fresh batch of new second-hand vehicles. Yes. It becomes is an ecosystem that it works so fantastic that the thought of importing something from outside, you look silly.
Exactly.
And you'll be buying a 3-year-old car, not an 8-year-old import.
Exactly. It's also good for the environment because you now have you don't have cars that are fuming everywhere. Yeah, and I think that's what you see in this market. That the consumerism in this market is quite high. I mean, the other thing my guy was commenting is how there are literally shopping centers almost, as he said, every corner. And it is true. You can be driving the road, you see a shopping center right here with, all your popular stores there. You'll have, a major supermarket as probably as the anchor. You'll have restaurants. You'll have, boutique shops. You'll have all these manner of things. And you get into each of them, there are people Literally, you find there almost about 60-70% occupancy rate in those kind of establishment. That shows there's a lot of money flowing around. Yes, which is a very interesting. I mean, the other. I mean, I guess the only downside is, as he said, is the debt that people get into because they have to fund that beast. And that
But
beast
you see,
is always calling on you
it's like this.
to get cheap credit somewhere and continually fund it.
You see, it's you to make your decision. Frankly speaking, debt is not bad because with that car, you are mobile at any particular point. You see, we have made to this poverty mentality, deni ni mbaya, sijui nini, and go on this funny way of thinking. There's the only problem with debt is when you go for a vehicle that is way outside your bracket, such that you are struggling to make the pay. Because if, let's say, you are earning 350,000 and the system, you are getting a car that will set you back 25,000 shillings per month, what is the problem? 25K per month, and in 3 years you get a new one. So, and again, the banking system, the financing system also has to eat. Banks don't get any money they don't get any profit from the money you stash there.
Yeah, you have to sell it.
You have to sell it. So it's about you as the individual making a disciplined decision. You cannot be earning 300,000 per month, then you go to RMA, you want a brand new Range Rover. Then inakukata from 350, unakatwa 250 per month. Yeah, you can't blame anyone. You're seeing where to any shida. But if you get a nice mid-size sedan where they'll cut you 25K per month from 350, even 50,000 per month out of 350, safe and sound. And this issue of swapping, you would want to specialize it for the guys who are buying on loan, because the vehicle purchased on loan will malipo yake iko juu, the final price is higher, so you are encouraging it. So when you take on loan, nalipa loan yako polepole, guarantee utafanya hesabu mbili tatu, you take a new one. So every 3 years you have a new vehicle without spending a lump sum. You are formed like some sort of inaitwaje ile library club. Unanunua kitabu, ukumbuka that thing of video library. You have to baada muda
kubook kuhaya.
Yeah. So there's also key to in a strengthened brand loyalty. Because if you've been buying Mercedes for the last 10 years and every 3 years they give you a new model, so you'll remain there. So it creates a very powerful, so kuna communities in terms of the tax brackets. Kuna Toyota, and then you go ahead and say what you call brand upgrade, in that if these companies are part of a manufacturing fraternity, you can move, mshahara imepanda juu, you can move from Toyota to Mercedes. A few phone calls, angalia transactions, wanakuambia asante sana, umepanda bei, kwa heri, will get someone to replace you. So unachezea hapo, and what happens? Always having new cars. The fundis are now good because fundi sasa hawezi kuchezea in spare part because you're now accustomed to buying good vehicles. And the guys buying second-hand, you are buying second-hand cars that are 3 years old and have been inspected by the manufacturer. What else would you wish for? Unapata in some countries vehicles look new throughout. You think, oh, these guys are rich. No. Background is in vehicle assembly, local assembly. Now, that is for personal cars. Imagine how beautiful it will look for commercial vehicles that are bringing in revenue. Whereby if your revenue figures are so good, you get another one in 6 months. So there's no alternative to manufacturing. Nothing beats manufacturing. Unless you are dealing with people like the Saudis who are reliant on oil. And I don't know how they are going to be, because I was thinking some of these decisions people make, geopolitics, I don't think anyone would want Saudi Arabia to go broke. Because let's say we push very hard on hybrids so that in the entire Europe and America, consumption ya petroleum iende chini by 40%, Saudi will have problems. We come to Africa. Now remember, Saudis are very top-end customers of European and American products. They buy the best. I know someone who works for a truck company, Saudi Arabia. Their boss buys fleets of Mercedes Axle trucks in 50s, not from a dealer, straight from Stuttgart. They are from Stuttgart, na zinakuja na a specialized radiator for Saudi temperatures na special tires. He orders them in 50. Now, if
50
such a country,
units.
yeah, 50 units. So imagine, so nchi kama ianze kupatwa na shida, the suppliers in Europe will say, "Happen, this customer has to remain rich." So there's some aspect of geopolitics playing around it. Although I'm hearing a story about, I don't know, though the e-mobility to some extent, ukiangalia vizuri, from Kenyan point of view, it looks like some weird agenda going on, because we talk of e-mobility, but I've not heard of any correlation between e-mobility and manufacturing.
Yeah, this is the talk that I find. I mean, even the president, when he was the other day, when he was having that town hall in Mombasa, I think he touched on manufacturing very small, very scantily. And again, even when he spoke about it, it was in his admission that where we can employ more people is in manufacturing. But then, if you listen to him more, much of what he's always pushing is his housing agenda. And housing, however good that sounds, how much will it produce once those men have put up those houses? Then manufacturers are never go in need. And we need houses at this point, as the private sector have had an issue in terms of putting up houses. No, we even have more than we need. How many houses are empty? Even though there's been a focus more on middle class than low-end housing. Maybe that's where we need to focus on. So anyway, this is a disconnect that, again, where we keep on going and saying maybe we are the foolish one, because some of these things sound so obvious, but yet who is listening? Who is acting? I've not seen a government that is focused on manufacturing. Not one bit.
Sometimes I listen to some of our talks and I say, maybe I should put an alcohol in my own house. Isakuwa kuna kapombe huwa nakunywa bila kujua, I don't know.
Inaka.
So because if I'm to be convinced that we are serious about e-mobility, you would say manufacturing, 5% of your fleet is electric. These are the incentive. 10%, these are the 15%. Is like graduated in terms of your fleet size being electric. Now we can talk. We go to schools. You are not telling you that you sell your diesel bus, because there are days you want to go on a trip mbali. But if you have one bus for daily trips electric, again as a school, kuna ka incentive unapewa. So these are it's policy, but so far the electric vehicles I've seen ni matatus. Now I was at around Ngong Road today. Ngong Road has a lot of electric motorcycles, very, very many. And
you said matatus have gone electric. Do you mean buses or matatus?
I'm talking about the 25 seaters and the 29 seaters.
Okay.
Not all of them. Okay, when you are at, say,
not all of them.
When you are at Ngong Road, you will count, if I can say, 5 diesel powered, then 1 electric. Then Itakara. They are not. I'm told one company wants to bring in 25 of them, But for transport, PSV, I'll be more happy with the hybrid. Because an electric is limiting you to the charging station. Like if I buy one, na naishi mbali from the charging point, so do I have to take it nikae huko ningoje ijae then nirudi? I don't know. Kuna some they are good if it is one full company buying them, but for what you call people with one or two vehicles, matatus, can be a bit hectic. So it is tailor-made for people who have like an entire fleet, akona total control, akona yard, maybe. But you are now locking out small people. I'd prefer work at hybrid. Hybrid, you'll go everywhere. And for
But how are the current ones doing? Where are they charging from?
I don't know.
Times?
I boarded one going to
figured out. It seemed like
I boarded one
the routes and how long the charge will last.
I boarded one. I boarded one to Eastlands from city center. They say that they start in the morning, the full charge. Then in the afternoon, around Sasita, they have to charge for half an hour. Wakicharge half an hour, now they'll go paka end of the shift bila shida. But for it to do full paka jioni, it can be a bit tricky. That is the
and where are they doing those charges? Is it at bus stops, at bus stations?
No, kuna certain secluded, not along the route. Kuna certain areas, so the vehicle has to be taken off route. It has to be taken because I know.
So it's like you have figured out that cycle when the one that was fully charged goes into charging mode. There's several others to replace it.
But like the thing is, I do not know any circle that has full electric. They swap. Like the one I know that I've been using for quite a while. I think it's called Oma or something. I used it around mid-morning. Then when I came, in fact, there were 3 of them mid-morning. Then I was passing the same place, Yoni. All of them were diesel powered. You will get a clear figure if you have a group that does full electric. So you can somehow know what's going on. But matatu sector, what it needs is something different. You can have a diesel powered matatu that runs well. And then the way the city is made, the city is made in a very funny way. That's why when it comes to public transport, I liked if some of these buses operated in Mombasa. Because in Mombasa, there's no waiting stage. Like let's say route ya Docks, Bamburi Mtambo. Docks is the gate number 1 for KPA. So the vehicle will only stop there for a few minutes. Now if itaondoka inaenda kipik stage by stage. There's nothing that unangoja paka ijae. Doesn't exist. In Nairobi is where you have to sit there until the vehicle gets full, then you leave. So automatically the public transport system, it has already nullified aspects of time. You can be lucky that maybe there's a certain matatu that is popular in Ajia Haraka, but you cannot predict. You cannot sit with a clock and say I'm predicting it. It's impossible because
there are no also bus lanes. If there are bus lanes, then there are reserved for buses. It would be possible to set a time.
But even if there were in Nairobi, sigari paka ijai.
That's the other thing. Maybe that's one thing they need to consider if they need to continue that model of lazima ijai.
The only way forward
is to maintain the momentum.
The only way around it, because you see, we are running our commuter system in a very strange way. Because in developed countries, we would have a commuter system, 1 or at most 3 companies that are running within the city, and they are running they are contracted by the city to run what you call a scheduled commuter service. So there's peak time, off peak. Chances are in that agreement they'll tell you there's what you call off peak compensation. Because regardless of the fact that I'm running empty, I'm running not empty, I'm running with a few people. Those few people, we are getting them on time to their destination. Because it's an agreement, because the fuel costs money. So if you are sitting with the county authorities, listen, I'm running a a schedule whereby you can stop somewhere, look at your clock, or you have an app that will track the bus. Now the bus has 4 people. When you get in, the bus won't wait at it will move. Now I am benefiting because I'm saving time. But how is the company benefiting? The company is losing. So that is where, through some bit of mathematics and matumizi akili, the authorities have multiple off-peak compensation. Like, what is the percentage drop in passengers during the off-peak? Because peak passengers ziko juu, then it goes dropping in a drop, then ikifika jioni inapanda, ndio? So in between, how do we work out those percentages? And then tunaona how the compensation will be based on, because somebody from the authorities will be monitoring how you are performing in time. Are your buses running on time? Are there complaints that whenever you board this particular bus, tunachelewa because of A, B, C, D? So it's like you scratch my back, I scratch yours, because you are saving time. Yeah, so you are saving time. We may tunaichukulia kirahisi, but the amount of time you will save if the vehicles, as you are there, unapanda na inaondoka. If you do it in in 1 full year, you'll be shocked at how much you're saving. So these are issues that maybe you'd say good to look at.
No, I agree. So, I agree.
It's just a matter of, kufikiria hapa na pale. Some bit of very, I call it minor league thinking. I don't think in a world where people are building rockets to go to the moon and others wanaingia ndani ya submarine mpaka wanakufa huko, that funny thing, planning a schedule and compensating for off-peak, I think that is Juakali mathematics. Yeah.
That's so easy to do.
Yeah. I believe you had something you have to do around 3 minutes from now.
Yes.
If I'm not wrong. So we'll want to close as soon as possible. Maybe I'll say thank you very much to Sharif Mustafa for showing up. Sincere apologies. Andrew is between 2 things here and there. But I think next week we'll have a full 1 hour show, if I'm not wrong.
Yes. I'll still be here, but I think I'll be leaving that night. But yes, we'll be able to
work
it. Might still be early. We'll work on it.
Okay, so Sharif Mustafa tunasema asante sana, and whoever is listening incognito, pia tunakushukuru sana in your incognito status. And from Athi River, can I say adios?
Adios. We'll see you on the next one.